Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and today I got the edgy lighting over here because we're talking about an interesting conundrum today. I know I've already discussed this kind of a topic before, but today, as I was reading in and looking at certain games that I even wanted to buy, I had to sort of look away because we've got the loot box and crates problem today. Now, I've mentioned this offhand, and I mentioned this in entire videos to its own extent when it came time for specific video games and whatnot, but today we're talking about the whole thing as a whole. And wow, that was a little redundant, but it's pretty redundant like this rant because it's not like this stuff is going to go away anytime soon. Loot boxes, for those of you who don't know, if you've been playing some of the Star Wars Battlefront 2 right now, or if you've heard about Shadow of War, or if you've been looking into Forza 7, you know that loot boxes have become basically ingrained, and at this point, there is no way we're getting rid of loot boxes. Loot boxes, as far as a lot of these big titles go, are here to stay. And at first, I was okay with it, to an extent. Let me tell you what I thought of it initially. For a lot of multiplayer games right now, loot boxes are a way that they thrive and survive. If you've been noticing, there's been a lot of multiplayer games that have come out, and multiplayer games tend to die off really, really quickly. Unless you're Call of Duty, unless you're Halo, unless you're Battlefield, you're gonna die off pretty damn quickly, okay? Whether you have a multiplayer mode or whatever. It's just the way it works. Usually these games don't have any communities afterwards. And a lot of it becomes due to the fact that we had lots of DLC piped out for a lot of these games. And it sucked because people didn't end up buying the DLCs. There wasn't a lot of love for it. People didn't even play the game in the first place. And what happened was that a lot of the community got so fragmented they couldn't find games, they couldn't find each other, they left, and these games died off pretty quickly. So the way that we combated that in the industry was that game developers started making loot crates. They basically made cosmetic options earnable through randomized crate drops, and what people could do is that they could buy packs of these, like 1, 5, 10, 15, 20. Remember the Overwatch loot crates? Counter-Strike Global Offensive crate system, the now released Rainbow Six Siege alpha packs, where basically cosmetic items are given out by earning these packs or buying them in bulk through any microtransaction currency. And what happens is because of the microtransactions, developers are able to basically supplement that money, take it instead of making people pay for DLC packs. So for example, Rainbow Six Siege, the game that I play heavily right now, has free content that comes out every season. Every 3 months or so. So for example, last update we got 3 new game operators. Basically, you could unlock these gameplay operators through playing the game regularly by earning like 25,000 renown, which is an in-game earnable currency, or you could go and buy a $7 pack of in-game microtransaction currency and buy it yourself. So you had 2 options. Basically, anybody that wanted to get into the microtransactions, buy stuff right from the get-go without earning it in the game, they could do it on their own, and that would basically make the cost of game development covered by a lot of those smaller shark players who are just spending money on a daily, right? Spending thousands of dollars on these games. And in a way that was good because we got the free content, we were always stuck in the same ecosystem, and that's how multiplayer gaming went. But today it's kind of changing. I was playing some of Battlefront 2, and I got some fears looking at the crate system now. It's pushed even more heavily than in the other Battlefield Battlefront games entirely, where they had battle packs and a crate system to an extent. But this time, we have actual performance-changing parts given to us through RNG. Now, you can kind of see how that's a bad thing. You know, let's say, for example, Siege gave you weapon sights or gave you exclusive weapons that would have different stats through randomized weapon drops that you could buy through microtransactions. That would make the game a bit pay to win. It essentially makes a multiplayer game unfair. And when you start doing that, and you start giving people performance parts based on RNG, it's fucked up. You know, take a step back, look at a game like Modern Warfare 2, look at a game like Battlefield 3, where a lot of those rewards are earned through actually playing the game, whether it's getting 100 kills with this weapon, or getting 500 headshots to earn this camo, or playing this certain class enough to the point to level it further in the chain. Nowadays, you can buy shortcuts, you can buy microtransactions, you can buy things outright, you can buy stuff, content piecemeal without ever having to earn it. Now, that gives people an unfair advantage. Let's say you don't have the money to buy and compete with the people that have the money, then you're put at an unfair advantage. What's the point of playing a multiplayer game when you don't have any bit of fairness in it? But the multiplayer games isn't where it's at. Now we've seen this topic shift out to single player. So if you've been looking at Shadow of War, basically a lot of people have pointed out that getting to the end of the game means that you're going to come across a element where it's going to be pretty hard to play unless you grind out further and get these exclusive gold drops, these better orcs, these better buffs to build out your army. If you ever play things like League of Angels, those YouTube ad games, you'll notice that in order to get the best stuff, you have to go through these crates, earn them, randomize drops, and get like the best items possible. possible. And that's sort of what's happening to the Shadow of War game right now. And in a way, some people claim that it's killing it. Now, I personally am not interested in the game, especially after seeing how microtransaction heavy it's gotten. Forza Motorsport 7 is handing out similar type microtransaction drops through card systems, through this kind of a loot crate option, which again, push it more towards not earning content anyways than just randomized drop unlocking it, which kind of sucks in the grand scheme of things. You know, we've gone from a point where actual gaming required skill, and now it just requires grinding out the game's very easy components, and randomized drops control whatever you get in it. And sometimes it's not even accounting for things that you already have. You're going to get a lot of duplicates. Remember old Overwatch before they decided to change the system out, where you got a fuck ton of duplicates anyways, and you weren't really unlocking anything new after a certain point because you had so much, and you were just basically playing a slot machine in Las Vegas. The reality is a lot of these games are getting it, and a game that I'm looking forward to personally, Assassin's Creed Origins, is a game that I'm waiting for. I've actually played all the other previous Assassin's Creed games to catch myself up, and if you've been catching my streams, I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed shit, but I'm kind of scared of what this game's going to be, just because I know that at one point Ubisoft could go the loot crate route, so maybe certain items or armors are going to be unlocked through the system, and it's going to make a game that could be finished in 10 hours, 40 hours, because of the repetitive fucking grind associated with that kind of a system. And playing through the older games, it was tolerable, because at least you could earn the stuff, and even if it was microtransaction ridden, you fucking knew what you were buying. With a crate system, how do you fucking know what you're buying anymore? Things are randomized. Your entire progression system is based on pure fucking luck. You're spending 10s, 20, 30, 40, hundreds of hours grinding away, slaving away like this is a fucking full-time job to get camo pieces, to get armor, to get weapons, things that were basically unlocked through actual challenge in a video game. We've reached that stage of video game development, people, and it's unfortunately never going to go away. You want to know why? People buy the fuck out of these loot boxes anyways. You want to know why they do it? Because it's an addiction. It's called gambling. At least in real life, when you go to a casino, it's federally, checked. You don't even know the rates of what you're unlocking with these game developers. How often do you sit there and really think that when you're playing Overwatch, Blizzard is giving you equal chances? How do you know that the people that are getting crates for free aren't getting shafted over people that are paying for the fucking crates themselves? Or maybe it's the same thing, and you don't even know what the rates to get a legendary versus a common item is. Is it really fair? Is it not? Are you really playing a fucking slot machine? Are you really playing with fair odds? Or are they just grinding you out? Are they just basically sucking you dry out of whatever pennies and time you have in a system that is literally geared towards addicting people to it? Why do people like it? Again, I explained it. It's addicting. It's gambling. And to an extent, it actually promotes it to little kids as well. How many little kids do you know have their parents' credit card attached to these fucking video games, and they buy these packs, and they unbox them, throughout the weeks, throughout the months, and they spend upwards of hundreds of dollars in actual microtransaction currency to get this kind of shit? We've reached a point where video games have become tools to promote actual gambling. And this isn't checked by the government at all. I think it should be, considering the fact that this is actually just gambling. In fact, it's the worst kind of gambling. You don't get anything out of it save for a fucking gun skin. Or at least in actual gambling, I could earn money just as I could lose money. Here, I'm just losing money for stupid trinkets that I could get just by playing the goddamn game. And you want to know what it does? Because you earn money out of it, they're definitely gearing it to a system where it's going to punish people who just play the game anyway. So the game is pointless to play anymore because you're just spending tens of thousands of hours into a game, whereas you could spend a fraction less because that's actually how much content the game really has. And that's where we've reached in the gaming spectrum of things. The loot crate system is driving me insane, and I'm scared that aside from a handful of developers like Nintendo, even though Nintendo, I think, two of their free-to-play games maybe do that, I think the Fire Emblem game does it, but that's a free-to-play game. These are $60, in Canada, $90 experiences that I put my money into, and I end up coming home with a hub of gambling. I want to get Battlefront 2. I really do want to get Battlefront 2. I played the beta, I liked it, but the fact that the system exists really pushes me away from it. I like the days of earning my shit, of earning my guns, of earning everything, rather than leaving it up to a fucking game of slot machines. Alright, I remember the days of playing Battlefield 3, playing the medic class until I unlocked everything in the medic class, and all the guns, unlocked all the sights, all the camos for the guns, through pure skill alone, not by playing through a fucking randomized weapon drop system. That's what we reached to at this point, buying crates for certain classes to unlock certain things. And to an extent, in our single-player games, it's like that too. Let's say you're playing Metal Gear Solid 6, if it ever comes out by Konami. Are you going to be rolling mother base crates to get certain soldiers out of it? That's what's going to happen. Is Assassin's Creed new weapon drop system where they got this Diablo-esque style deal gonna have weapon crates where you can get purple items, you can get green items, you can get yellow items, you can get whatever colored items they've got? Have we reached that point? How is this fair? How is this even fun? All right, we've reached a point where all this kind of shit has basically collapsed on itself. And, well, it's turning gaming into what it is today. I didn't get Forza Motorsport 7 because of this shit. I'd rather put my money towards a game that doesn't fucking make me gamble my money away, or at least try to. I'm not going to put my money into Shadow of War knowing that I'm playing basically what is a free-to-play game, but I'm being charged $90 for it. I don't even get some microtransaction credits for this shit. What the fuck? How is this fair? How is this fun? I ask you the question. This has been another rant time, another much needed rant time. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. Sorry if I got heated towards the end. This topic really fucking pisses me off. Let me know what you think. This is me, Mudahar, and I am